This guy's like the god of comedy writers over there. He's written some of, if not their most popular comedy shows in the UK. His name is Graham Linehan, and he was arrested at Heathrow Airport, met by count them, five armed officers. And as you may know, in the UK, most of the officers are not armed with firearms, but these guys were. Why? Because they had to take down this comedian who sent out 3 mean tweets. I am not kidding. 3 mean tweets got him arrested by 5 armed guards before he'd barely stepped onto British ground, getting off of the plane from America. I actually don't know his citizenship. I think he's a British citizen, but he was over here, and he had to go back there because he was already on trial for allegedly taking the phone of this tranny activist who was harassing women speaking up for their own rights. He allegedly took the phone. So he got criminally charged. The tranny didn't get charged with criminal harassment, just he did. And he had to go back over there to stand trial. When his plane landed, he got off the plane, he got arrested for 3 mean tweets. In the wake of his arrest, he was slapped with what he calls a legal gag order in the UK, a country where critics say sweeping speech laws punish everything from online jokes to private prayer. That gag order said he wasn't even allowed to speak about the charges slapped against him. Can you believe this? Now, he has a court date later this week, and after that court date, his first on-camera interview will be right here with the Megyn Kelly Show, and we look forward to bringing that to you exclusively. So I want to talk about this case, and then I want to talk about what's happening, not just in the UK, but in the European Union, because they've just passed this sweeping law that's going to affect all of our social media companies and all of us. Have you been noticing more and more when you're on your iPhone, you have to accept cookies or deny cookies? That's in large part due to what they're doing in the EU. What they do online with their sweeping anti-free speech laws will affect your life. So listen up, because as goes the life of, the Graham Linemans in the world, so goes your life potentially, and we need to pay attention. All right, joining me now to talk more about it is Greg Lukianoff. He's president and CEO of FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. He's also the co-author of the new book, War on Words, 10 Arguments Against Free Speech and Why They Fail. Greg, welcome back. Great to have you.
Great to see you again, Megyn.
This is getting crazy. I realize there's no First Amendment in the UK, but, we're kind of them. We've got like a toe still that connects us very much to them. We're all supposed to be part of the modern West and have the, shared values. And literally all Graham did was send out 3 tweets. I'm going to tell you what they are. You probably already know, but we'll bring this audience up to speed, that just got him arrested for offensive speech in the UK. 1, April 19th, showed a picture of a trans rights rally and captioned it, "A photo you can smell." 2, April 19th, in a reply to the picture and a follow-up, he writes, "I hate them, misogynists and homophobes, F them." And number 3, on April 20th, he writes, "If a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing a violent, abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch him in the balls." That's it. And this in the UK can get you arrested with 5 armed guards, and God only knows what the potential punishment will be if Graham does not prevail in this case. Your thoughts on it all, Greg?
Well, I think I'm going to say something that might surprise you. Actually, it's good that they arrested him because it's making people aware of how insane the law has gotten in the UK, and honestly, the rest of the so-called free world at this point. America at this point is truly alone in protecting free speech as passionately as we do, and thank goodness we have the First Amendment, because of course the unfree world is a nightmare. They've been using AI in Iran and China to bring a whole new level of dystopia, but in the European Union, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, the situation for free speech is getting more and more desperate. I mean, just to put this in perspective, about 2,000 people were arrested per year in the first Red Scare, which was 1919 and 1920. 12,000 people approximately have been arrested this year in the UK alone, and they're half our population at the time of the Red Scare. So we're talking about a genuine free speech crisis that when you go to Britain still, and my mom's British, so this was literally very, very close to home. They used to laugh at us about our political correctness in the United States. But now they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, it was rude. It's like, are you insane? And the funny thing is they're doing this to rout out fascism, in their own minds. It's kind of like,
Yeah, they're dangerous. They're genuinely dangerous. Like, I'm not sure where this goes, how much more radical they can get. They're arresting people who are silently praying outside of abortion clinics. They're really hot on the trans issue. You cannot say anything about trans activism, trans activists, the gender issue. You have to be completely woke and politically correct on it, or you can wind up like Graham.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a celebrity. He is a celebrity over there who is very well known for these hits. And of course, our comics, he's a comedy writer, tend to be, in many cases, amongst the greatest geniuses. Really, they see the seams in the story. They're our most important cultural commentators. They come to these issues before many of us do, and they're important for that reason alone. He actually gave an interview to Jordan Peterson a year ago or so. It was December of 2024. And spoke about being canceled because he's been very hot on the trans issue. Here's a bit of that in SOT 1.
I always think of that Muhammad Ali line where he said, the Vietnamese never called me no N-word. And I feel the same way about the left. The right never called me a bigot. Right. And they called me a bigot for basic things like saying, hey, you shouldn't be cutting the breasts off little girls. You shouldn't be...
Yep, there's one non-hate crime incident.
Yep.
We can keep piling them up.
There shouldn't be men in women's prisons. It's actually against the Geneva Convention to put men in women's prison.
Okay, so he's speaking complete sense, Greg. Complete sense. It's not even like here in America, we always talk about how you have to find the least popular speech, the most provocative and unpopular, and that's the stuff we need to zero in on protecting. What he's saying over there is actually factual statements. Now, the one statement about kick them in the balls, okay, that's a little bit more provocative than his other statements. But that wouldn't even come close to being censorable speech here in America.
No, that's nowhere near the line when it comes to First Amendment. I mean, basically the argument is that it's incitement, and that's literally like when you're standing outside the mayor's office with a torch-wielding mob being like, let's go burn down the mayor's office. Like the idea of like theoretically in this circumstance, if there's a man in a woman's dressing room that you should, if all else fails, punch him in the balls, is rightfully protected in the United States. And this has been going on. I mean, the scale of this is just absolutely astounding. And it's been hard to get people to really pay attention to how bad it's gotten in the United States. Or for that matter, sorry, not in the United States, in the UK. We were done a real favor, actually, by 60 Minutes, because they did actually a piece on how bad it's gotten in Germany as well.
We showed that.
And they
60 Minutes loves it.
Yeah. Oh, the host did seem to kind of be like, oh, this makes sense, and they show morning raids of these speakers, and they gave one example of like a German called a politician a penis, and that got him arrested. It's like, okay, so you can't insult politicians anymore, and they actually said
that's a day
that's even
ending
worse.
in Y. In the United States of America. I mean, everybody would be under arrest if you couldn't say negative,
part of being a free person
things.
is you can pick on your politicians.
Well, speaking of politicians in the UK, J.D. Vance went over there and spoke at the Munich Security Conference in February and really was very frank with our European friends about where things are going there. And there was very negative leftist reaction at home to what he was saying. Like, oh, how dare he lecture them? Who does he think he is? He was spot on. And I'm going to show this soundbite, but I hope people will listen to this thinking about what just happened to Graham and to many others. I'm going to get into what's happening beyond Graham, but watch this.
The Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizens suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
I mean, that, to put it mildly. You've got Adam Smith Connor. He's an Army vet who was fined nearly $13,000 for silently praying near an abortion clinic over there. Lucy Connolly is one many have cited over there. She was sentenced to 31 months in prison for calling for deportations of illegal immigrants on X. It's getting genuinely scary. And now you have Nigel Farage, who formed his own party over there, which is on the rise because of issues like this, who testified in front of the House, the U.S. House Judiciary Committee, this morning, a couple of hours ago, in the wake of Graham Linehan's arrest, and had the following warning, SOT 4.
He's not even a British citizen. He's an Irish citizen. This could happen to any American man or woman that goes to Heathrow. It is a potentially big threat to tech bosses, to many, many others. This legislation we've got will damage trade between our countries, threaten free speech. I've come today as well to be a klaxon, to say to you, don't allow, piece by piece, this to happen here in America. And you would be doing us and yourselves and all freedom-loving people a favor if your politicians and your businesses said to the British government, you've simply got this wrong. At what point did we become North Korea? Well, I think the Irish comedy writer found that out 2 days ago at Heathrow Airport.
Good for him. When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Well, you'd be right. Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so they created something special. Until September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit right now. Just text MK to 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to 10 grand. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy before September 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and get your free info kit. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.